What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you live from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut. And a channel update video that I wanted to post a couple weeks ago. I wanted to post it before we changed the calendar from 2021 to 2022. A lot of things have come up, though, but up today, so I'm happy. Very happy about that. So basically, before I start the video, I just want to point out that we're doing the Patriots at the Bills because I did a random number generator, and I said, alright, whatever game comes up in the order that they're going to be played, whichever number comes up is the game we're going to sim. I got number 2, so Patriots at Bills will be the second game played. So we'll have to see what happens. Playoffs are, of course, coming up. So we do have a playoff prediction video coming up tomorrow, more likely than not. If not tomorrow, it'll be tonight. I'm going to try to record it today if I can. But those ones take some time. So, always fun to do that. Regardless. So, a channel update and all that good stuff. So, I'll start with the basic stuff here. The real easy stuff. Trade breakdown series. The lifeblood of the channel, so to speak. Still going strong. It's gonna be way more periodical than it was in the past, because in the past, like a year ago at this time, I was posting like 3 or 4 a week. Can't do that anymore. I don't want to start discussing complete worthless trades that no one cares about, so we're not gonna do that. I do have a few ready to go, so eventually we'll start getting a couple more of them out. There might be one tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow. There's gonna be one next week. So, it'll officially put an end to the Eric Lindros trade, so I'm happy about that, finally being 100% done. But, other than having the trade breakdown series, of course, that's going to just be slowed down. I may start remastering some of the trades on the MLB trade breakdown series, too, because looking back at some of them, it's like, ugh. Like, I may redo Jake Arrieta. I may redo the always... like some of the longer ones that I did, I may split them up a little better. We'll have to see if I feel like doing it, and if they're really that bad. I'll have to rewatch some of them and see how bad they were. So, and if they're really that bad, I'll just delete the old ones and post the new ones. But regardless, so that's trade breakdowns. We're still not going to be worrying about basketball, but I have a bunch more football runs ready to go. We have some baseball ones ready to go. Hockey's the one that's kind of up in the air. I more have modern ones than older ones because I didn't really follow hockey too much back in the 2000s, so I don't really necessarily... I can't look at a player and be like, oh, he was a big name. If I already knew he was a big name, I already did his trade. So, after the trade breakdown series, of course, we do have the player bio series, and I'm going to group the player bio here along with the history of. So, both of them have been kind of slowed down a little bit recently. I mean, we haven't posted either a player bio or a history of since mid-November, so it's been about 2 months at this point, a little less than 2 months. And the reason for that is I want to be able to... So one of the things I want to do to help the channel grow is go on, learn how to actually edit the videos properly. And rather than give you all a black screen while I'm talking about the type of a video like, oh yeah, this is the history of the Los Angeles Dodgers, for example, rather than just have a black screen for an hour or however long that video is going to end up being, I'd rather be able to put pictures in there if I can, if not maybe a video or two if I can. It's going to be difficult. I thought I'd be able to study it in December, but it didn't work out, and now we're in January and I'm still kind of a little up in the air when it comes to being busy. So there's a chance I'll be able to do it this month in January, but if not, it's going to be pushed back to February, which I don't necessarily want to do, but again, it is what it is. The problem is, of course, YouTube's not my only job, so I do have to focus on the other job. And, like I said, it is what it is, but hopefully we can put an end to it soon and get this taken care of. I talked to, the former co-owner Patrick about a couple things. He did give me some pointers, but... I'd ready to go rather than assume and do something halfway. If I absolutely have to, I will put up a video of one of the two, either a player about or a history of, just to, you know, have one out. But again, I do want to have the pictures out there. If I have to do one halfway where it's like okay but not as perfectly polished as I'd like it, I'll do it just so it's out there. I do have a couple of player bios I have typed up and ready to go. I do have the one history of ready to go. So they're just essentially floating right now. I still will be putting out history ofs for every team that's not in the American League in baseball at this point, because all the AL is done. So I'm looking forward to it. Player bio, of course, suggestions, please feel free. I do have a bunch of people I can type up if I want to. You know, when I want to, whenever it's free. So, looking forward to it. The one thing I do want to point out, too, is for the player bios, I'm probably going to revamp them a little bit in the future. So, rather than sitting around and me just every single... And trade breakdowns a little bit, too. Rather than me sitting here and giving you the stats for every single year in the trades, I'm probably just going to focus on doing that in the player bios. We'll have to see. I am going to start condensing, like, the stats a little bit in the trades. Player bios, I'm probably going to keep them, but maybe not every single statistic. Like, it's kind of boring if I'm like, oh yeah, so in 2012, he completed 15 of 30 passes for 24 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. And in 2013, it gets boring at that point. So I'm not going to do that anymore. But we'll have to see. If I can throw more stuff in, I will. Otherwise, if I have to group years together, I'll do that. So, like, I started typing up one, and I kind of started condensing some years together. I'm like, you know what? This seems like a good idea if it's just going to be me reading stats for 2 years in a row. So, that was the big thing I wanted to discuss. Now, I'm just kind of running through my list here of stuff I wrote down. Those are the two big things. So, the other thing I do want to point out is my goal is also to add a secondary channel to this channel here. So obviously, if you check out the channel, you'll see that we have Patrick's Metro Slapshot, which is essentially his hockey channel. He hasn't been posting on it because he's also been busy with work, but he should ideally get back into it very soon. And he's essentially our hockey partnership, I guess you could say. He's the one who focuses just on hockey videos, so that's why we don't have any hockey videos right now. If he continues to be absent, then I will eventually post a hockey standings update just to have that done. But I just want to point that out there. So my secondary channel is probably going to be a gaming one, where I won't be playing like typical game. I won't be playing random games. I'll be playing only sports games, of course. So you'll see me playing Madden and stuff. And the Philadelphia Eagles franchise video that we just did, where we franchise drafted the Eagles, that was a 10-episode series. That would be something that would be moved to the gaming channel. That way this channel is just for the sports, and that one is just for gaming and stuff like that. So like, if you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you'll remember I had a Seattle Kraken video. That's gone now. To me, it makes more sense to just go out and focus on putting that stuff on the secondary channel, just so this one's just for sports. I will be keeping the Eagles one, because that one's just one that is too... I put too much effort into it, for lack of a better word, to just delete it like that. So we'll leave it for now. If we have to, we'll get rid of it. But I do want to keep it for the time being, at least. So, so those were the big things I wanted to bring up. I also want to point out that... Well, I already mentioned a few things here, but I'm going to keep doing the playoff predictions if I can. Another thing I'm going to be doing soon is... So, as the NFL season continues to trudge along, I will eventually start putting out the videos looking at each division and how the teams did in each division. And I do intend to go out and post a video of me reacting to how I predicted the NFL standings were going to look. And of course, I didn't do records. I might try to do that next year just for the heck of it, to really throw it out and test it and see how I am. But, you know, I'll go out there and I'll look at, like, the NFC, when all NFC West teams are eliminated, for example. I'll go out there, I'll look at the NFC West, I'll be like, oh, hey, so I know I predicted the Rams to win that division. But after that, I'm pretty sure... I may have had the Cardinals finishing last. I'm not sure on that, but You know, I'll have a reaction to it, and I'll be like, oh, well, I was right on the Rams, so I was dead wrong on the Cardinals. So that'll be kind of fun to do, just to have that in the back. And we'll do like a little bit of a summary too. So if there was a move that that team made, so for example, the Rams will be like, yeah, so what they did is once Robert Woods tore his ACL, they signed Odell Beckham Jr. So it'll just be one of those little things there where I'm going to change up the format a little bit from how I did for the baseball one, where I just kind of looked at their records. I'll try to do a little more in-depth research. It's just a little easier for football than baseball, but regardless, don't expect that to come out until the 2-week time period between the championship games and the Super Bowl. So that's probably still at least a month away, a little more than a month away, a little less than a month away. Oh my gosh, I'm all over the place here. So I will probably do a playoff summary as well once we get in that time frame. So expect a lot of football content around there. We will also have NASCAR starting up around that time, so we will continue to do NASCAR. As you're sure, if you are watching this, you're probably pretty sure about the whole baseball lockout. So there's not a lot of baseball stuff to talk about right now. Like, I'm not going to do a off-season preview or recap, I should say, for baseball, because at this point in time, there's still so many big name free agents on the market. Like, you got Carlos Correa, Trevor Story, Clayton Kershaw. So if I were to do a recap today, you'd look at me and be like, wait a second, so you want to tell me that, you know, this free agency team, Nick Castellanos, this free agency team is arguably better than a lot of the regular teams that there are. So it's just not fair to do that. That'll be something that comes up once we get closer to the actual season, once the lockout's over. So, other than that type of stuff, so we discussed the trades, we discussed the player bios, history ofs, the new channel, which hopefully will be up and running within a couple weeks. It'll probably just be HartlandSportz Gaming or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what I'll name it. I'll keep you all posted. But, you know, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now with sports in general. So I'm looking forward to branching out a little bit, not just focusing on the one thing that, you know, not just doing this or that. I'll still have some videos on this main channel here that do stuff like this, where we have a game simming in the background, just so we don't have black screens, or if it's something that's like really breaking news, like the whole Antonio Brown thing. To me, it just makes more sense to have Antonio Brown and his team playing another team that he played for, rather than me panicking and holding the video for 2 weeks type of thing and posting it when everyone else has already discussed the topic to death. But regardless, we're still here to stay. Don't worry. There's still a lot of content for us. There's still a ton of content for us. I might try to get like a couple of potential guests to come on the channel for a video. Like, we had Patrick when Atlanta won the World Series. We brought him on for that video. That was nice. You know, it was good to have a second voice on here. I tried to bring back some of the older videos too that we've done in the past, but they don't necessarily do as well as I'd like. So I'm kind of like pumping the brakes on those. Like, the weekly hangout streams were fun to do, but it's not fun if it's just me, because then it's just me talking to myself and going, oh yeah, you know, this is wow, what a catch by that player. Okay, well, all right, let me switch to NASCAR. And then it's not the same thing. So, and of course, if you go to an online server, you have to deal with other people potentially saying inappropriate words and all that good stuff. So, no thank you, not worth my time, not worth the risk. So, it's going to be fun. I do wish the Rant series was still going on, but the Rant series is gone. It's done. It's over. There's nothing to really do. I might go and change a couple of different things. I might try to do players, or I might revisit rants. But there will be a couple things I'll do. I do have some more video topics and like just general things and specific new video ideas and playlists and all that good stuff. But we'll have to see. Now, another thing I wanted to discuss, and the last thing I'm going to mention in this video, is playlists in general. So in a couple of videos in the past, I did mention, alright, follow the playlists. So one more thing I'm going to be doing, and I've started it, but I have to still polish a lot of stuff out. I could pretty much do it today if I wanted to, but I'm going to kind of hold off and go a little bit at a time. But for trade breakdowns, what I'm doing is I'm reorganizing the playlists that they're in. So they're still going to be in their traditional, you know, NFL trade breakdown and regular trade breakdown playlists, just so they're there, done, over with. You don't have to worry about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to reorganize it so, you know, if you're a Bills fan, for example, you can go into a playlist called Trades Involving Buffalo Bills, click that playlist, and the first, I'll write it in the description of said playlist, but I'll be like, all right, you know, the Bills, this is trade list of trades involving the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills, you know, the first trades from X to Z were all with them as one of the primary two teams. Everything after that is a trade in which they were a secondary team, so they might have gotten a random player, a random pick that we won't really be discussing, you know, not guaranteed to be discussing. So that's something. Another thing I'm going to be doing too with that is I'm going to break it up a little bit. I can't do it for baseball, but for football and hockey, I'm going to do draft day trade, so like a draft pick trade or a player trade. The one thing I could do for baseball would be like a regular season deadline trade and then a non-trade deadline trade, but I mean that's just kind of up in the air. So there's that we have going for us. Like I said, I basically started doing it, and I got through the I organized them for baseball and football, and I found a couple of videos that were actually not in a playlist, so I'm happy I went through all the videos and saw that. So the playlists are all up to date now at this point. I'm very happy about that. But we still have, you know, there's still a lot for me to do for the channel. We're not perfect, I know that. I mean, my Wi-Fi still has its time. It's still a little spotty. But I have a lot of hopes for HartlandSportz here. Like I've said, I know that this isn't like my main job, obviously. And once, and then I'll kind of go quiet for a couple days, but it's just kind of, it revolves on my work schedule, and then of course when my dad's home and stuff like that, because if my dad's home and I try to do a stream like this, that's usually when my Wi-Fi starts to have a lot of problems. Like I was rewatching the Antonio Brown video, and there were a few moments where it got really bad because my dad was constantly on his Wi-Fi, using the Wi-Fi as well, and it just made my Wi-Fi get all choppy, and I'm like, alright, this isn't good. This isn't the best. But, I mean, we'll have to see. I'm definitely looking forward to the future of the channel. I'm excited to see what we can do. I mean, we're almost up to 50 subscribers now, so I'm very happy about that. And again, like I've said in the past, I appreciate all feedback that someone can give me. You could tell me, you know, oh, this video idea is stupid, and I'll say, okay. You know, I respect that. I like getting the comments from people too when I do like the rant videos, like the Carolina Hurricanes rant. I got a few different Hurricanes fans responding to me, and it's usually civil conversations where it's like, hey, you know, I understand why you feel that way, but I'm still a Hurricanes fan for life. New Orleans Saints rant too. I had someone who I had a decent conversation with, decent back and forth for like a week or so. Like I think we had like we exchanged like 7 or 8 comments, and you know, the person was telling me, you know, I'm a big Saints fan, too bad you feel that way, and I kind of went over and explained myself a little bit, and then, you know, I got a counter, and we went back and forth for a little bit, so that's always fun. I like that. That's the good thing about where we're at. I'm not getting thousands of comments, so I can respond to you. I won't respond if it's something really like the Washington football team rant, for example. That's probably the one video I got the most hate on, because I really went after Dan Snyder, and all the Washington fans went after me for that. But I mean, it is what it is. You can do that. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not gonna go and delete your comments. I'll leave it as long as it's not completely inappropriate. But I also will not tolerate people attacking other people on the channel in the comments. So if you just kind of joke around, if you're kind of like, you know, here's a video, I post it, and some guy goes, you know, Jets suck, for example, and then some other guy goes and attacks him personally for saying Jets suck, that's different. I will delete that comment if I see it. I'll be like, nope, can't say that. But I won't delete the Jets suck comment unless he consistently does that in every single video. Like, it could be a baseball video discussing like the AL Central recap, and the guy writes New York Jets suck. I won't I'm gonna be like, okay, I don't know why you're doing that, but I'm looking forward to it though. You know, I do hope. It's not guaranteed, but I hope to be able to do a 2022 NFL draft video like I did in 2020. It's the hope. It's not guaranteed. The fact that the Eagles have 3 first-round picks makes me really want to do it, because this year I'm more ready than I was in 2020. I have tweet notifications on for a lot of people, like Adam Schefter, big time right now. So anytime there's a trade, I'll be able to get the news for it, and I'll be excited. Like I had that in 2021. And when my buddy who's a Giants fan, when the Giants traded back with the Bears, you know, originally no one was reporting that they got that the future first. So I'm looking at it and I text him. I'm like, what a great trade by the Giants. Getting that future first is huge. He's like, no, there's no future first coming our way. That's why I love Adam Schefter. And I will consistently mention, you know, this is per Adam Schefter. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably... Like, the one good thing about me hosting the stream is that I have my music a lot lower, and I, of course, have Madden, unlike Patrick 2 years ago. So, there's a lot of upside. If I can do things properly, too, I might even try to just do the live stream and then go back and edit it if I can, and, like, put pictures of the players when they're drafted. But we'll have to see what happens. But regardless, you know, this was a good video. I've been meaning to do this for a while now. I wanted to get this out here, and there's just, like I said, there's so much to talk about for the channel. I have a lot of future plans for it, so don't get discouraged if I don't post for like a couple days. I have a good amount of videos ready to go. One last thing I want to mention, I know I said that before with the playlists, is for the NFL, once we get closer to the Hall of Fame classes being announced for 2022, what I will be doing is I do have the plans to put out an NFL Hall of Fame week. So the 97 draft class had 3 Hall of Famers selected in the first round, and a 4th was selected later on, but we're not going to get to him. Fortunately for us, I should say, all 3 players who were drafted in the first round of the 97 draft that were Hall of Famers were all traded for. So what I'm doing is I'm combining those 3 trades, and I'm gonna probably have them out there. I'm gonna have a video where we look at the Hall of Fame class, and I'm gonna have 2 player bios of Hall of Fame players. We're gonna discuss all of that in a single week. I'm looking forward to it. Now, the player bios, that's why I kind of want to get to know how to put up pictures and all that good stuff sooner rather than later. If I can't, I'll probably put them up with the blank screen, and I won't be happy to do that, but, I mean, it is what it is. There's some big names I'm looking forward to. Of course, I've already mentioned him in videos before, so I'll just mention him here. One of those players that will be discussed that week will be Terrell Owens. So, I'm just waiting to get the definitive date of when that's going to be, but for now, you know, I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be a fun week. Usually when I do the themed weeks, people seem to like that because it's not just, you know, a random trade breakdown, random standings update for football, and then a couple other things. But I'm looking forward to it. So, you know, this video, I hope it was informative to you as the viewers. There's a lot of stuff that we have going for us in the future here for HartlandSportz. But, again, so, quick recap here, real quick recap. Trade breakdowns, still a thing, going to be going strong, still the lifeblood of the channel, don't worry about them. Speaking of them, the playlists are going to be updated for them, so now you'll be able to find the trades involving your particular team or teams of interest. Just look at the descriptions below or in the playlist itself to figure out, okay, where are the primary and where are the secondary trades involving my team, and they're also going to be divided by draft day trades versus, you know, player trades, like a player being traded for picks type of thing. And then, of course, we will still be doing the history of and the player battle series. I'm just hoping to update my skills so we don't have blank screens when I'm doing said videos, because it's a lot easier. And, of course, lastly, we will be having the gaming channel up and running, ideally within a week or 2. That way there, I can focus on doing other things, and they're not on the HartlandSportz main channel. They'll be on the gaming channel. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative enough. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the description, in the comments below. I will respond to your comments 100%, as long as you're not inappropriate in them, obviously. But I just hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are enjoying the channel. Please feel free to leave video ideas, suggestions, and all that good stuff below. I do take any ideas that you give me seriously. There's been a couple ideas that I've floated around and I'm like, alright, I don't know how I would do this, or I'd love to do this type of video, but another 3 sports channels have done them, so I don't want to just consistently copy other people. Like, I almost debunked the Rant series because I didn't want to be the guy who copies other people, because there's a couple YouTubers I watch who did somewhat similar. Right, if I do it this way, it's a little different than how they're doing it. So that's why my Rant series was how it was. You know, it wasn't me just trashing every single team from a sport in a video. It was me spreading it out a lot more and going and giving multiple points for each team. So that's why I did it that way. The ideal way would have been like a 5-10 minute video of me just trashing each team at once. But, you know, I didn't want to copy other YouTubers. That's not what I want to do. I want to be my own. Like, I don't see a lot of YouTubers out here doing trade breakdowns, all that good stuff. So I want to have my own. I'm usually not a creative person, so if I can come up with an idea that no one else is really doing, I love to stick to it. But, of course, the trade breakdowns are kind of tough to do. One absolute last point, too. I mentioned this in a video in the past. There are a couple trade breakdowns that I will not be able to do, or I just can't really find myself doing. Of course, the main ones are going to be like the Babe Ruth trade, because how is it fair to look at the Red Sox and say, you got 125 or 250,000? It just, the number's always up in the air. So how is it fair to compare the money that you got to fund a Broadway musical, as the legend goes, trading Babe Ruth to the Yankees? Because we all know Yankees win that trade. We all know that they won that trade. Roger Maris trade when the I think it was Kansas City Athletics at the time, I could be wrong, traded Roger Maris to the Yankees for nothing. It's not fair to look at that trade. And then, of course, the last one's going to be like the Herschel Walker trade. I would love to do the Herschel Walker trade, but I learned my lesson with this Eric Lindros trade. The Lindros trade has taken such a disproportionate amount of my time and videos at this point that I can't really go into doing it. If I do in the future, it's going to end up being, because I was looking at it and I started it, and it ended up becoming like at minimum, it was going to be like 5 or 6 videos, all things considered, because Cowboys obviously were trading their picks around. So it just became a complete messy situation. So I'm going to ideally just end up doing the couple of player bios of Emmitt Smith and Herschel Walker themselves. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This video went longer than I was expecting it to, but I would rather discuss something 3 times than not discuss it at all. So stay safe out there. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope you're enjoying the channel. Please feel free to leave comments in the comments below. Have a good one out there.